Notes for my 2018 reading of an English translation of The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Today is Tuesday, 12 May 2026 AD, and here I, Tanis, she, her, hers of Seattle, talk through my book and reading notes for my 2018 reading of an English translation of The Art of War by Sun Tzu. And this was one, it was a copy that I borrowed from a friend, and it was, so I don't have the copy because I FedExed it back. Or is it something like that? Or UPS'd it back, something like that. So I don't have the particular copy anymore. And I provide some context for the reading of the book in terms of how it factored in at foundation level to my defining and wholeheartedly pursuing my cardiology self-experimentation in 2017/2018 when I was living in Albany, California. Yes, so this was one, there were some books I was reading, and I have talked previously about my cardiology self-experimentation and really kind of like defining and elaborating and kind of setting out on my cardiology self-experimentation in 2017, 2018, when I was living in Albany, California, and I still do it solo and of my own design and that kind of stuff. And this was an interesting text for that because it talks about war and, you know, like militaries facing militaries, and kind of like there's an art to it. And I was like thinking about, like, I was like, does this apply to my like cardiology? So cardiology is study of the human heart and like the corresponding blood system, so to speak. At least for me, it incorporates the heart and the heart system. And I was like, and the book really focused on circumstance and kind of how to understand circumstance and conditions, and then how to like make a battle about oneself. And I was like, well, since it's cardiology self-experimentation, if something like, let's say, what I'm eating at a certain day or a certain time or a certain occasion matters, then essentially like it's like a battle to preserve. If I want a certain output of my cardiology self-experimentation, then how to approach that situation can vary, and I can think of it as it's kind of a fun one because like whatever the occasion, be it eating solo or eating with others, I'm allowed to kind of pipeline it in different approaches with my cardiology self-experimentation. But because I'm in charge and I'm defining it was like a really weird one, because I was like, if I'm good at the art of war, at what this man is talking about, I could take any circumstance and make it part of my cardiology self-experimentation. And I was like, I still want to do this. And I was like, that would be worth becoming a physiologist, cardiologist full-time, you know, like wholeheartedly doing that. It would be, can I imagine the prowess of myself? I kind of do this now. It actually came true. But this was back in 2017/2018, where I was like, it would be so cool to be able to take anything in stride and understand what I do and be able to do it so well that I am able to define any of my battles in cardiology, cardiology self-experimentation, that I can define them no matter how much goes right or how much goes wrong, entirely in terms of my own rules and my own ongoing self-experimentation story. And so like, even if everything goes wrong, I'm like, but I existed before this, and this experiment that is ongoing existed before this, so I can just erase that bad person. And it requires action, right? It doesn't go away on its own, but like to actually be able to take anything in stride and win any battle, which might require a lot of effort, so I need to pick and choose my battles, right? But I was like, to really treat it like the art of war, like the guy describes in this book. Yeah, it was a huge one, a huge kind of driver motivational piece, and like really, like I'd say there's a really good one that's cementing conditions and circumstances and understanding. I say like just basic understanding of myself, self-observation, what goes into my cardiology self-experimentation of like what constitutes a battle. Like I was just like, it's like I only got one text that factored in at that point in time in that way, and this was that. Okay. So this is the art. It was like approximately 5th century BC. So you know, it's over, or is approximately 2,500 years of age, because I'm filming this Tuesday, 12 May 2026 AD. So there we go. It was also so it really emphasizes the importance of circumstance. And so this was also, in addition to the cardiology self-experimentation, I gained a new appreciation for being of/from Seattle and being of Seattle original peoples Duwamish ancestry through my mom, my mom's mom. And I even thought through, because like I was going to see a bunch of movies in theaters, including Solo and stuff, and so it was like, well, for my relevant life experience at the time then, which is still relevant now, or back to being relevant now, and it was actually a collision of like my cardiology self-experimentation, movie going, my like heritage travel trip series. This was about when I founded it as well, but then surname stuff. And so it was like seeing a movie in a movie theater in the greater Seattle area would be seeing a movie on the lands of my ancestors, and that would be true for my mom's side of the family and not my dad's side of the family. I was working through surname stuff at the time and realized Leonardi would be an invader name for that movie going in the greater Seattle area. Example, and wouldn't it be cool if I was actually born Tanis Gillespie? Name on my mom's side that is Irish, my dad's side is not. And it was an interesting one, because I was like thinking of this and I was like, you know, is this relevant? And it was like, yes, it is, because it gets into ownership and authority and proper attribution, because the copy I borrowed, how is this relevant for the book? And like, you know, the copy I borrowed for this 2018 reading that I'm talking about, I borrowed from a friend of mine of mixed Japanese and Irish ancestry. All right, and I'm of Irish ancestry, and it's different on each side of my family, but it was something that I was like, how do I give it back to him, like in terms of like proper attribution and stuff, and it was like something shared. We were both Irish, so there we go. Those are notes for my 2018 reading of an English translation of The Art of War by Sun Tzu.